Hello, great to be back with you. I am Carla Cargle of the Financial Truth with Carla Cargle, and it has always been my intent since the inception of the Wealth and Prosperity Book Club to present you a book once a month. However, I'm sure by now you realize that was not done. Therefore, in coming up with a realistic expectation, I believe that it is realistic for me to present at least one book every quarter that enables me to truly uh, read the book, review the book, analyze, and allow the book to become one with my understanding and my ability to present it in a centered manner that will empower you and equip you and help you to raise your consciousness as it is and has mine. Therefore, today I'm bringing to you this first quarter of 2019, the book Empowerment. You can do, be, and have all things. This book is by the great John Randolph Price. Many of you are already familiar with his work through the Abundance book, or some know it as the 40-Day Prosperity Plan. If you have not read the Empowerment, You Can Do, Be, and Have All Things, this book really is impactful. It's power-packed, and it will really equip you to have the strength, the understanding, and the capacity to truly implement the 40-Day Prosperity Plan that is so world-renowned, presented in the Abundance book. So again, today's book is the book Empowerment. You Can Do, Be, and Have All Things by the great John Randolph Price. And as many of you know, I had the opportunity to engage with John Randolph Price on numerous occasions through my radio show several years ago. So we actually reviewed this book. So the recording of the live radio interview of this book is available on my YouTube page at the Financial Truth with Carla Cargle, the YouTube page. So I encourage you to listen to the recording of that as well. So this book is so powerful and filled with so much awesome information that I will not be able to do it all in one review. So I'm just going to review a few sections and a few PowerPoints at a time. So today I'm going to focus in the books area of this book. It's the 10 steps to the fulfillment of your desires. 10 steps to the fulfillment of your desires. And I will focus on steps 1 and 2 today, and then we will come back and I will review the other 8 steps at a later time, but consecutively, of course. But today we will be talking about steps 1 and 2 of the 10 steps to the fulfillment of your desires from the book Empowerment. You Can Do, Be, and Have All Things by John Randolph Price. Step number 1, the principle of attunement. Attunement, the principle of attunement. And of course, ultimately what that is saying is being able to allow the self-consciousness become one with the God consciousness. And that raises us up to what we call a super consciousness, enabling ourselves to recognize that we are spiritual beings first and foremost. And then that will enable us to embody the true nature of God, the true understanding of what we can do as God reigns and resides in us and through us. Of course, we know that there is a verse in the Bible that specifically, and of course I'm paraphrasing at this point, but it basically says we will be able to do greater things than Jesus Christ did when he was amongst us. So of course, how do we do that? We know that Jesus Christ was an embodiment, was the manifestation, was the Son of God in the way in which we have been taught and it's been understood. So in enabling us to be able to do even greater things, that means that we have to be able to embody the truly consciousness, the super consciousness, the being, the presence, the power, the wisdom, the creativity, and I can go on and on of God in ourselves. So we become no more self-conscious. We become God-conscious in the power of God, the creativity of God, the all-knowing that we can do all things, have all things, and be all things because God, the creator of all things, lives and dwells in us, resides and dwells in us, presides and resides over us. So that is the pretty much the analogy or the summary of the first principle, the principle of attunement. Step number 2 in the 10 steps to the fulfillment of your desires, the principle of choice. The principle of choice. Actually, before I take off my reading glasses, the principle of choice is, and I'm going to read this section in here because it's really pretty much summarizes in John Randolph Price's own words what that choice is. The principle of choice. Step number 2. In essence, we are choosing the spiritual equivalent for that which we desire in physical form. And when we choose it, the spiritual equivalent moves into the manifestation chamber where it becomes the mental equivalent of the physical form or experiences. Everything is stepped down from the spiritual plane to the mental plane and then proceeds out into the physical world to appear in material form. Oh my God, what did I just say? In essence, what it's really saying is simply this. The principle of choice is just simply saying whatever we ultimately choose in the spirit realm of our mind, of our consciousness, solidifies itself and manifests itself into the physical form, becoming a material realization. So how do you manifest and how do you achieve the fulfillment of your desires? Attunement, superconsciousness, recognizing that we are truly the embodiment of God, God living, dwelling, and reigning in us and through us. And 2, allowing the choices that we make with our thoughts, with our mind, with what we choose to manifest and how we see it and how we want to bring it forth is the beginning of those steps. So that means that if we want to have good in our lives, then we must allow our spirit self, our super consciousness, the God presence that resides in us to be in alignment with the good of God, the light of God, the power of God, the presence of God. And that will enable the manifestation to come forth from the spirit plane to the mental plane to the physical plane out into material realization. So let's let our thoughts be good, our expectations be good. Let them be of the light. Let us truly see and envision for ourselves through our God consciousness what it is that we really and truly want. If you don't want evil in your life, we can't allow evil to have a level of presence, of residency, I should say, in our mind. So of course that does not mean that we don't, that things don't occur in our thoughts, in our mind that we don't want. Of course, at that point we actually allow ourselves to push them out. We say no access to the negativity, no access to the evil. You are not welcome here. You are not allowed a residency in my mind. So when these types of things occur, that's what we push them out when we say no access. However, we then allow the real thoughts that we want to manifest, the true nature of what it is that God is, and God is operating and wants to manifest in us and through us. We allow that to embody and occupy our mind, our spirit selves, our thoughts, and what it is that we truly want to materialize into our lives. So those are the first 2 steps to the 10 steps of the fulfillment of our desires. Step number 1, the principle of attunement. And step number 2, the principle of choice. So choose through this power of God that lives and dwells us. Choose to allow yourselves to truly have the life of good, of truth, of wealth, of prosperity, and abundance that God created us to have. I am Carla Cargle of the Financial Truth with Carla Cargle. It is my pleasure, my joy to share this with you.